Hello and welcome back to Diet Soda, Popcorn, and a Weighted Blanket. I'm so glad you found my little corner of the internet and I really hope you like it here. Over here, I talk about my mental health struggles, my experiences on the week, which mostly include some kind of movie that I either rewatched or discovered for the first time, or like just decided that I wanted to step out of the house for a change and go to the theater and watch a movie. So, generally, I talk about movies in short. So, on that theme, for today's episode, we are talking about the latest Imtiaz Ali film, which is Main Wapas Aaunga. Now, I have watched this movie twice over the last 2 weekends, and I have thoughts and I have feelings, and they're big. This is the kind of movie that you don't want to miss a second of because everything feels so intentional and deliberate that almost every dialogue has so much weight to it that you don't want to blink or get distracted or just, take a little too long during the intermission and miss a couple of minutes. You just don't want to do it. Also, side note, since I'm going to be discussing my feelings about the movie, if you haven't watched it, I would urge you to skip this podcast until you do, because I will be talking about multiple themes and that will probably contain like a lot of spoilers for you. So, this is more like my debrief or like my way of processing the movie because God knows that I need to process all of this. All right, then. So, I actually want to start by putting it out there that I am a science stream student and I've never really enjoyed history. But since I am like a story buff, be it in movies or books or any media actually, I now kind of get what my sixth grade history teacher said during class, where she said that she views history as his story. And I get it. Like now I get it because people actually make stories out of our history and they can be so eye opening for a lot of us. So before I take a deep dive into my Vapas Aunga's universe, I want to actually start off by saying something out loud is that when I was in school and I was reading about the various independence movements and all kinds of history that we've read, we know how those stories end. So at least, okay, so I'm not going to say we a lot because I don't know if anyone else went through this or not. I did, so I'm going to share about it. So when I read about independence, I had a very matter of fact lens where, okay, so this happened and that happened. This is how we got here. And I never actually stopped to think about the psychology of it all. Not that I'm an expert in that field at all, but I watched Hira Mandi, and even though I didn't really enjoy it as much as I hoped for, one thing that I did take home with me was the fact that for the first time, I saw people fighting for independence when they did not know how this is going to go, when they did not have the full story, they didn't know how this was going to end. And for the first time I understood the weight of that. When you decide to do something that is just so big and like you do believe that this is the right thing to do, and that's all the fuel you honestly have, because even people around you will be like, this is too big a task to accomplish, or why are you doing this, things are fine the way they are and we're helpless and this is what it is. There were people who were like, no, we don't accept it and we're going to do everything in our power because we feel this is right. And I just did not understand the real courage it took, which was something that I only and only kind of got a glimpse of when I watched Hira Mandi. Because even the movies that I've seen about, for example, Mahatma Gandhi or Bhagat Singh, we know them as heroes. So they look like heroes. You're rooting for them from the very beginning. But since Hira Mandi was fictional for the most part, I saw characters without the hero label attached to them. And I saw the raw and real courage it took for everyone. All these heroes that we talk about, all the freedom fighters we have grown up idolizing, quite frankly, have were also very human, and they also went through all of that, and they were like, in spite of everything, we're going to do what we believe in, and that's just how things are going to be. A lot of them lost their lives to it, and only when I watched Hira Mandi did the weight of those decisions dawn upon me. So, similarly, so मैं वापस आऊंगा for some context is the story of a man who left his city because of partition, and he did not just leave the city. It wasn't just about the geography. He left his life, the woman he wanted to marry, the woman he really really loved, He lost and left behind his mom, his sisters, every woman of the family. He lost a part of himself because of the way he had to leave the city. He just comes physically, but not like emotionally, spiritually. Everything about him is still very much in the old city in Pakistan. So now I have read about the stories. I've read about how hard partition was, and it's not like I was oblivious to the pain that people felt and the grief that came with it of leaving a city, leaving their homes, leaving their lives, leaving their loved ones, losing their loved ones. I've always known that. But I think the gravity of it hit me very differently when I watched this movie. There's a scene where, okay, so I mean, social media was not a part of the world, right? Or like in 1947, and that's also a theme that's discussed in the movie. So no one really knew the gravity of it because everything they watched on TV, in the news, and the two leaders who were then going to lead the two nations that were being formed at the time, everything they said politically was very different from the ground reality, because they politically it was said that you can choose the country you want to live in, and they were like, okay, we live here, so we're going to stay here. Whatever country this becomes is just going to be a country from then on. But then he realizes that it's becoming more communal than anything. And the first time something like that happens to him, he's like, what do you mean I can't go there? Like, what do you mean this area is forbidden for me? What the hell is wrong with you? This is my home. This is ridiculous what you're saying. And that's when it hit me. For him, it was like the streets he's roamed in for like forever are now prohibited because of some communal issues and the partition and everything. Another thing that dawned upon me was that not dawned upon me, this did not dawn upon me, this I learned for the first time, was the fact that it wasn't as simple as like a religious issue. It was planned that way. The divide and rule wasn't just a mentality, it was executed in a way that was very cunning, honestly. There were other people called from different countries who then spread hate and made sure there were riots, and they made sure there was mob mentality. And a lot of what happened was not among the people living together in the same city, it was because it was made to happen. And that was something that I learned for the first time, and it kind of did shake me. Because when the partition was first announced that we're going to get independence and then there's going to be two different countries, people were like, but we live properly. Like the Sikhs and Muslims and Hindus were like, but we live happily here. Like, why would it be a problem? We're all happy. Nobody from the other religion is going to do anything to us. We live in harmony, and it's fine. Like, no matter what happens, it's okay. But then something else takes over. And here I want to give credit to Imtiaz Ali and the storyteller he is, and how, like, what is he made of? Like, his sense of responsibility when he's storytelling is just, it's something I'm in awe of, honestly, because whenever we talk about partition, we talk about the tensions between the two countries and all of that, it does become about religion, and that's just something that naturally happens, and that's just how it's happened. Even when I watched Dhurandhar, that was like a theme, right? And then you watch something like Main Wapas Aunga, and you're corrected because Imtiaz Ali tells you that there's a responsible way of telling you stories that will not even, that no one can even imagine are propaganda. Because there's this whole conversation that happens between like a person who's been through the partition and his grandson, who are talking about, like the grandson's frustrated that, why are you not telling me stuff? Like, why are you gatekeeping all of this information? Like, what is it to you? And he says that, you know what, I could tell you, but you will not understand, because when I tell you, you'll look at it with the lens of this religion hurt this religion. But it was not that. It was so much, like, it was so toxic. They use the word zehar, and I don't think poison does the same thing as what zehar does. So they talk about zehar, and they were like, the faces we saw at the time, they were not people. It did not matter what religion you were. It's just the situation and the way people were reacting to that situation it was an impossible situation with impossible feelings and reactions that were more than just religious beliefs. And I was like, wow. So someone's talking about partition and they're like, keep religion out of it. It's just such a it's so refreshing. It is so refreshing to watch something like that is not polarizing in the least. You just look at these people and you look at their stories and you feel bad for them, and you feel like there's a weirdly, it's just so emotionally heavy, but there's such a matter of fact lens to a lot of it there's a conversation that happens between Diljit Dosanjh's character and his father Rajat Kapoor, where he's like, you know what, I don't know what would have what happened to those people, and it was so hard, like it was so bad for them, and I can't even imagine, and all of that. And the father was like, but why is it painful for you? You didn't know them. Our grandfather, like your grandfather knew them. He knows what he's going through is so big right now. You're supposed to help him through it. And it is that conversation, like, this movie is just so complex. It's hard for me to even talk about because I feel like I'm not able to convey what it is about. Even though it's not my responsibility, I would really, really want everyone to go and watch it. It talks about generational trauma, and it's just such a beautiful metaphor that they use to talk about it. And there's such nonchalance that Diljit Dosanjh has that you don't realize, but he says very heavy stuff. But he says it with such ease, and you're taken aback because it just said so easily without a lot of drama attached to it. And you're like, what the hell did just happen? Like, what did he just say? I wrote a few pointers to talk about. And I think if I talk about everything, this could be like a 10-part series just talking about the movie. There's generational trauma, there's grief, there's PTSD, there's someone who's living like a half life because they're refugees, and the kind of everything they've seen after that, they don't feel like they have the right to grieve. The Nasiruddin Shah's character when he was young, played by Vidang Raina, when his father passes, he goes to work, and his younger brother is like, where are you going? And he says, we're refugees, we don't really have the right to grieve. And oh my god, something something inside me, just my heart broke for him. My heart broke for him multiple times. My heart broke for all these characters so many times in the movie. I can't even imagine. There's such a perspective shift for me because, quite frankly, I've not my life is not where I would want it to be, and I'm not very happy with the way it's going on. But when I watch this movie, something inside me breaks and heals at the same time. It just, this, I, as a broken person, I'm watching a very broken story about very broken characters. And the biggest thing is there's a lot of responsibility that the victims in the situation feel. But they did the best they could, but they can't get over the fact that maybe they could have done something more, they could have been better. And you watch it and you feel it just, these are things that I don't think any of us are constructed to deal with. Like, these are so huge, everything that happens to that family. And I mean, I'm talking about that family only, but yes, I am very aware that this is just one of the story of lakhs. Like, it's a story that happened to lakhs of people. And I can't even wrap my head around one. I cannot even imagine what everyone's been through. Like, how is such a big question, and makes your problems feel so much smaller. It's just so much. There's just so much to talk about this movie. It's just it's huge. Another thing that I really, really liked, there was a contrast that was shown. So Diljit Dosanjh's character had lost his mom at, like, I believe at an early age. That's not explored a lot. It's very subtly shown. But what we see is Nasiruddin Shah still, not being able to get over the grief because of the way things had happened. They were so big. And then there's Diljit Dosanjh's character who also has grief of losing his mom, but it's just, I don't know if this makes sense, but his grief is healthy. He has come to the point of acceptance, and he's just happy to look back in his past and talk about his mom and look at a tree outside his home, which he and his mom planted together. And there's just, Nasiruddin Shah's character is on his deathbed. So when Diljit Dosanjh, just comes back home, he's not in the country at the point, and he comes to see his grandfather. He goes to his room, he sees a picture of his mother and goes, Big Boss aa rahe hai, tayar ho jao, and something like that he says. And it's just such a, you see two characters who've grieved, but there's so much of a difference. Obviously, there's no comparison because the kind of pain the grandfather has is, even cruel feels like such a small word for it, that it's so big. And I want to say I'm so sorry to everyone who went through it, and I'm honestly really sorry that I never understood the gravity. And I'm very grateful that someone like Imtiaz Ali has come out and shown all of this to my generation. And I don't come from a refugee family. There's not a lot of background. I know it's a very sad, I knew it was a very sad situation, but how bad was it? Oh my god. Like, I was talking about the movie in therapy, and I said that, I think I walked in a different person and I walked out a completely different person. I was crying throughout the movie. And I want to mention Dolly Aluwalia, the work she's done. I'm talking about it throughout the podcast. I've had goosebumps talking about the movie. And when I said Dolly Aluwalia's name, is something. Oh my god. Oh my god, like you should go and watch this movie. This movie is not like, don't miss it. This is an experience, and I'm very grateful that I got to experience it, and I'm going to watch it again once it's on an OTT platform. I think it's going to be on Netflix. I watched it twice. I could go again. It just, and it's a broken story. It's not a story that it it doesn't have a happy ending, but it has such a beautiful ending. And now this is like a huge spoiler, so you can, just stop listening if you don't want it. Nasiruddin Shah's character's life was beyond hard. I don't really have the vocabulary for it. Whatever he went through was not something anybody should have gone through, but yet lakhs of people did. But there's some sort of poetic justice to it, where so he's on his deathbed, so he's had like multiple strokes by then. Mental faculties are off, and that's the kind thing that happens to him, because there's certain unresolved feelings and work that he has that he could not have done had his mental faculties been intact. So there's certain kindness that he does receive, so he can at least die in peace. There's a dialogue in the movie. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. I'm going to just say it again, where Diljit Dosanjh says, that this passion that we have, it needs to get out of our system. It can get out of our system as like for our family, for someone we romantically love, or our work or something. It needs to get out, because अगर इसका एक बूंद भी बच जाता है ना, तो आपको चैन से मरने भी नहीं देता. So the movie ends on a note where Naziruddin Shah's character can let out everything he had and can die in peace. And that's the movie. It's a beautiful ending. It's not fair. None of the movie is about fairness. It's about a very hard situation that people have had to go through, and it's still not done, not with their death. This talk of generational trauma, this talk of ये दोबारा घर नहीं छोड़ेंगे. If he dies here. It's, you don't want to miss a single second of the movie when you're watching it. Also, I want to add, this movie was not made because I feel, okay, so this is not, obviously, this is my perspective of all of it. I do not speak on anyone's behalf, but it felt like this to me, that this movie was not made because they wanted to tell the story of a very hard refugee situation that happened in our country about 80 years ago, 78 years ago. It's very relevant today, and that's how the movie ends. There's a song that happens, and the video of the song is of Diljit Dosanjh with all of his bags on his shoulder, and he's in a building where all the buildings around that particular building are falling. His particular apartment has a controlled fire, and he's sitting there hoping the fire stays controlled, and if at all it gets bigger, he's ready to run. And then it talks there's a whole montage of refugees and how things in the world right now are just not okay. So I also want to say this movie is relevant. It's not just a story, it's relevant. It talks about so many things, and there's so much to say about the movie, and I don't think I have wrapped my head around it completely to talk about it. That's why I missed last week's episode, because I wanted to talk about this movie, but I was like, I want to watch it again once again. Still not over it. This movie is so much bigger than I am, or my level of understanding is. But I am so grateful that I got to watch it. I got to experience this movie, and I think you should too. And yeah, I think that's where I want to end today's episode. And I just want to say that I would love to hear anybody's opinions. If you watched the movie, what you felt, what was the experience like for you. Reach out, please. I would love to talk about it. And tune in next week. Yeah, that's it. That's the episode.